Next week on Shot Emmerdale, an alliance that once seemed impossible begins to take shape, and it all starts with a secret no one saw coming. From the very beginning of the week, tension hangs heavy as Joe sets his sights on revenge against Cain over the stolen car. He orders Graham to set things right on his behalf. Ironically, Kim is far from pleased. She doesn't want the conflict between Joe and Graham resolved. She wants it intensified. For Kim, this isn't about justice. It's about control. She thrives when relationships around her are unstable, easier to manipulate when trust is fractured. Meanwhile, Cain is fighting a very different battle. Sarah is eager to continue stealing cars with her grandfather, but Cain is increasingly hesitant. The financial strain on the farm, combined with his declining health, is weighing him down. He's no longer the fearless risk-taker he once was. When Sarah discovers that Cain is planning one final job and forbids her from taking part, the question becomes clear. Will she obey him, or will she risk everything to prove herself? Everything shifts dramatically when Graham sneaks into Butler's and accidentally discovers Cain's oncology letter. The moment he's caught breaking in, and the fight that follows, highlights the stark contrast between the two men. Cain is exhausted, physically and emotionally, and his defeat feels almost inevitable. But what truly surprises is Graham's reaction. Instead of fueling the feud, he chooses empathy. He returns Joe's stolen car, but lies about where he found it, a lie rooted in compassion rather than strategy. From that point on, something unexpected begins to grow. Graham approaches Cain directly, admitting he knows about the cancer and urging him to end the feud with the Tates, to focus on Moira and on his health. Their handshake is not a conspiracy. It's mutual recognition and respect. Yet Kim sees something entirely different. In her eyes, it's a dangerous alliance. To test Graham's loyalty, she orders Joe to sabotage the farm machinery, a move that shows just how far she's willing to go, regardless of the consequences. On the emotional front, Moira becomes one of the few sources of light. After an emergency where sheep are trapped inside a barn, Cain must push aside his fatigue and rally everyone into action. The pressure is immense, yet his protective instincts resurface. When he later visits Moira, his spirits are lifted, until he notices the black eye on her face. Even so, Moira insists she's ready to fight, and Cain's presence gives her renewed strength. It's a small but powerful moment, showing they remain each other's anchor. At the same time, a dark cloud looms over the village on the day of Ray's burial. Despite her inner conflict, Laurel cannot bear the thought of Ray being laid to rest with no one there. She asks Charles to represent her, but when he gently asks if she wants to come along, something shifts. Laurel ultimately attends the burial with Charles and Claudette, signaling that she's trying to confront her emotions rather than avoid them. The true tragedy unfolds with Bear. His loved ones keep the funeral a secret, fearing it might reopen old wounds. But a careless comment from Claudette reveals the truth, and Bear insists on going. From there, everything spirals. Paddy panics when he learns where Bear has gone, his fear turning into anger directed at Laurel. Bear, meanwhile, falls apart completely. When Manpreet refuses to give him painkillers, the sense of abandonment deepens. Alcohol becomes his escape. Laurel offers comfort, but after Bear is hospitalized with an injury, his emotional state continues to spiral beyond control. Family tensions reach breaking point when Arthur cannot accept that Laurel attended Ray's burial. Laurel tries to listen and understand her son, but the confrontation escalates too quickly. Arthur shoves her, causing her to fall and hit her head on the stairs, a chilling moment. It's not just the violence that shocks, but what it represents. Unresolved pain can destroy even the closest bonds. As Laurel is hospitalized, one question lingers. Will Arthur's role in what happened come to light? Amid all the emotional wreckage, Aaron finds common ground with Bear. Drawing from his own painful experiences with Gordon, Aaron helps Bear understand that the confusion and guilt surrounding abuse are not his fault. Bear shouldn't blame himself. Yet Bear leaves Aaron with an unsettling thought that Aaron can't truly understand until he knows the full story. Finally, in the midst of all the darkness, there's a softer moment. Thanks to Ross's matchmaking attempt, Vinny and Lewis grow closer. After the intense experience of saving the flock, emotions run high and they share a kiss. But the tenderness is short-lived when Lewis quickly pulls away and leaves. Is this the beginning of something meaningful, or just a fleeting moment? A week in Emmerdale isn't just about dramatic events. It's about raw psychological reactions: fear, regret, empathy, denial, and flawed choices. And that emotional realism is exactly what makes it impossible to look away.